You are listening to Offensive Lines with Marlon and Boyd. Small stakes NFL gambling for the average fan.
Welcome to Offensive Lines. I'm Marlon.
I'm Boyd.
Another winning Super Bowl. Never in doubt.
No, I knew it all along. Even after I texted you that we were done.
I was wondering about this strange role reversal we had. I used to be the absolute doomsayer in the partnership, where nothing good would happen until I'd given up all hope. And you seem to have taken on that role.
Well, New England just had nothing going in the first half.
Nothing.
They'd move the ball a little bit, and then the pick off. It was like, okay, just when you think, okay, it's going to work out for Atlanta deferring. New England's going to get some points here, field goal or something. Atlanta's going to get the ball, try and get some points before the end of the first half, and then receive the kickoff to start the second half. Then the pick six happens, and then it's like, okay, that's out the window. Now New England has to get points. I was thinking touchdown to have a shot.
Yeah. I honestly thought Brady was injured. I thought he got hurt in practice. He looked like late career Peyton Manning in the first half.
Just even the body language.
The play that I thought was when he waved Edelman deep early in the game. This was in the first quarter. And then he threw the ball 10 yards short. If the defensive back who was pursuing Edelman had turned his head, that was a pick ball.
Well, he came back for it.
And when you see the guy who's waving a guy deep, so you know he's throwing deep, it wasn't a broken route, it was nothing else, and then for the ball to come down 10 yards short, and actually more real, 10 yards short of where Edelman was, 15 yards short of where he wanted to throw the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, the route was there. I thought he was hurt. I thought it was, here we go. Brady is done.
We talked about it after the game, that his touch, on anything over 15 yards, he couldn't drop anything in. Except that one pass to Bennett. He dropped in.
Yeah.
To set up the tying touchdown. But everything else was overthrown, underthrown, except for that intermediate stuff, that 10 to 15-yard stuff, he was hitting.
And his accuracy was off. He was behind on passes. This is Tom fucking Brady, who, if he's not the greatest, he's one of the two.
Well, he had to get to 300 yards passing to get warmed up.
This was the weirdest game. And by the way, I do not think that this was the greatest Super Bowl ever.
No. Totally agree.
It was one team having its way, then the other team having its way, and their opponent completely collapsing. That was a terrible... Atlanta lost this game as much as Brady and the New England Patriots.
But the Falcons didn't collapse. I think that's wrong to say. I think their coaching staff screwed them out of a Super Bowl. With even
but that's part of the team. Include the coaching staff and the team. That's still a collapse.
I know, but it wasn't. The defense didn't collapse. It wasn't like, oh, we're making all these fucking horrible plays, or we made all these mistakes. It was the offense, Shanahan and Quinn for not overriding him. In the fourth quarter, when you have a 28-3 lead at some point in a game and you only end up with 18 rushing attempts, that's coaching.
Oh, yes, but that's part of the team. That's part of the collapse.
I know, but
we're just quibbling here.
No, it wasn't. They did not. A collapse means you make the players make errors.
No,
the players didn't make errors. Yes, the collapse is when they fucking blow coverage, lose assignments, do shit that, okay, we were supposed to do this, but the guy did that. That's a collapse where the players make the fucking mistakes. Where the coaches are calling pass plays when you're at the 20 and all you need is this field goal with 4 minutes left. That's not a collapse.
I think it
That's
is
major
only because
fucking-
I'm including the coaches as part of the team.
Yes, but the players can only do what they're told.
No. I don't blame any player on the Falcons in that loss at all. None of them. Not a single one. But a team is also the coaching staff. And you can even include Matt Ryan for not overriding. I just think if you look at the Atlanta Falcons as an organization, they collapsed. They did for about 9 minutes what Pete Carroll did in the last 30 seconds. Had a complete brain meltdown. Yeah.
Lost all concept of clock and clock management and game control. Running plays with the play clock still at 15, 20 seconds with 8-9 minutes left.
Yes.
Ridiculous.
But the coaches are part of the team. Like, when I say they collapsed, I'm not saying the players. In fact, I think the players were bloody amazing for Atlanta that entire game.
The only guys I felt sorry for in Atlanta were the defense because they left them fucking hung out to dry in that game. They were the ones responsible for that big a lead.
Well, and they were absolutely gassed. I mean, this is one of the strangest games ever played in terms of time of possession, number
plays
of plays.
93-47? Like, the Falcons' defense was on the field for almost the whole fourth quarter and overtime.
And most of the second quarter.
Yeah.
Like,
Because
after,
the
they got
touchdown.
that pick six touchdown, but that
Yeah,
was
they had the ball.
that was near the end of an 8-minute drive.
Yeah, they
and
had the ball for
I
about
said
12
to Shelley,
minutes.
I'm going, Matt Ryan has honestly and literally taken a nap.
Well, and that's where I was thinking our Devontae Freeman bet for MVP was looking good because I thought, okay, in the second half, they're going to run the fuck out of the ball.
Yeah.
And he had like 4 or 5 carries, Freeman, on their first possession or second possession when they got the touchdown. Or no, first possession, where they ended up punting anyway. But they used him like 6 or 7 times after that in the run game?
I think there were only 4 rushes in the second half by the Falcons.
Well, Freeman only had 11 the whole game.
Yeah, well, yeah,
11?
he had 71 yards and finished with 75. And I don't mind bringing in Coleman necessarily if you think he's a better pass protector, and he's a fine 2 and 3 yard carry back. But why? Like the 3rd and 1 that led to the strip sack. Unconscionable.
3rd and a long one. 9 minutes left. Worst thing that can happen there is you run Coleman or Freeman. Well, Coleman just come out with an injury. You run Freeman up the middle or a sweep. If he doesn't get it, you're punting.
A quick hitting stretch so he doesn't lose more than 2 if
You're
they're
punting.
all over it. Yeah.
You're punting.
A punt
And the
isn't the worst
Patriots-
thing on the planet.
And the Patriots showed no sense of... This was mind-boggling to me when they're down... It was still 28-3, and it took 6 or 7 minutes to score their first touchdown. They weren't running hurry up. They weren't doing it. They scored their touchdown to make it 28-9 with 2 minutes left in the third quarter. It was reminded me of the Eagles.
At that point, it almost seemed like they just didn't want to be ashamed. And then after that strip sack, as you texted me, we're in this, baby.
Yeah. Well, they gave him the short field. That was their only opponent for Atlanta at that point in the game was the fucking clock.
Yep.
It had nothing to do with the Patriots.
Lombardi
short
said
field.
that on Simmons, and he was 100% correct. If you are not aware of what your goals to victory are, he didn't say this, but I'm summarizing here. But if you are not aware of what your goals to victory are, it no longer matters if you score points.
But why? It looked like Matt Ryan was looking deep on that 3rd and 1. Like they were looking for the knockout punch to make it like 35-12.
But you'd already swung the knockout punch.
I know. But I watched that again tonight because we were running through the game, watching the commercials because I taped the game on Fox and watched it on CTV. So we just would fast forward through and watch the commercials and then but we left it on right where that strip sack happened.
Yeah.
He's looking deep. There was nobody underneath.
Okay. We discussed this after the game. So does that mean Freeman just kind of blew a pass protect assignment?
Well, that's what I said to you after the game was, did he not understand or misunderstand what the play call was?
Yes.
Because to me, he ran up to Hightower, stepped out of his way, and turned around and looked at Ryan like he was expecting a screen pass.
Yes.
And Ryan was looking to the opposite side of the field. So I don't know. I would guess it's Freeman's fault.
Or maybe he just thought, well, this is insane. Like, he thought it was one play call because one made sense and one didn't. And Julio Jones, 4 targets, 4 catches, including one of the greatest catches I've ever seen in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. It's the only one that comes close for me is Antonio Holmes, which had similar thing. Hands there, you don't know how the ball wasn't tipped or picked off, and that he tight-roped the line. That's the only one that even comes close to me. I know there's lots of other great catches, but the body control that Jones showed was phenomenal. Fingertip catch, tapped a toe, and then falling out of bounds. And he was up in the air, 3 feet?
Yeah.
It comes down with one and still taps the other one.
And I had no doubt about his feet. Like, I wasn't calling it a catch live because I just wanted to see the reverse, whether he caught the ball clean. I knew his feet were in. As soon as that happened, I just said, no, he's in bounds. Does he have the ball?
The one I will take credit for calling before they showed the replay was Edelman's catch.
Oh, I was so wrong on that.
I called that live. I said, that's a fucking catch. And then before the other official came in and called it, I called it a catch. Because I could see it bounced off. I said it bounced off the guy's leg. It didn't hit the ground. And I was correct.
I didn't see that.
Much, but I
didn't
call
see that. I, in
finishes.
fact, said, okay, here's some other bizarre coaching things. No one's talked about this that I've heard of.
Yeah, the timeout.
After
for the challenge,
the 3 and out, with Atlanta to start the half, they kick the ball. Nice return. They challenge whether he's out of bounds. That's 8 yards of fucking field position from their 45 to your 47. That's a fucking stupid challenge.
Yeah, but he didn't lose anything on it. Patriots ended up punting.
You lose a challenge. That's just a foolish challenge.
Well, you don't. You don't lose a timeout, and they
only
still
if you get the second one, which he lost on the Edelman catch. So he had no challenges. Lost the second timeout. Why do you do that for 8 yards?
No, but the stupider challenge was the one with Edelman's catch.
Yeah, because you had to think,
it.
Like, the first view, I thought he should challenge that. And then the very first view, which came in 6 seconds, the first replay showed that was a catch.
No, but would the Patriots have gotten a playoff before the 2-minute warning? Because he threw the challenge flag at 2:03.
No, they would not have gotten a playoff.
So why call the challenge there?
Yep.
Wait till the 2-minute warning. You got 2 minutes of commercials to sit and look at that play and decide whether you want to use that challenge and lose your last timeout. Because that timeout may have come in handy, as we found out later.
Yes. I call that a fuck up under pressure. I don't think that is egregious.
No, that's egregious. That's what you're getting paid for, is to make those decisions under pressure. That's why you're getting paid.
But, where was his communique saying, don't challenge? He caught the ball.
Well, here's where they were looking.
Because the Patriots could not have gotten to the line. There's no way on earth they could have gotten to the line.
No, so he throws the challenge
They couldn't have teleported to the fucking line.
Because unless I'm wrong, you can challenge right at the 2-minute warning. It's just under 2 minutes.
If the play happens before the 2-minute warning, you can still challenge.
Yes, that was my understanding. So why he didn't let the clock run down and get a better look? Could have watched it on the big screen himself in the fucking stadium. On the sidelines.
Okay, do we have anything else before we get to the big one? Which, that Julio catch should have won the game.
Yes.
Right fucking there.
Put him inside the 25.
And at that point, all I was thinking was, oh, thank God Boyd pushed the try-bat. Because then we can cheer for New England to come back, get a touchdown.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was telling my son that. I was telling my son exact what you're saying when that was happening. And then even after that, when they didn't get any points, I said, just need a New England touchdown. I don't even care about the 2-point.
No, we both wanted the 2-point missed.
Because although it worked out better as the payout, we ended up making an extra $6 on winning the Patriots
outright. But we were
outright.
still exposed to risk.
Yes, if Atlanta won the coin toss.
Yeah, I mean, there was still a chance of a 6-point Atlanta victory, which
would have fucked us 6 ways to Sunday.
Okay, so it is first down at the 23. There is no excuse. Like, here's where Kyle Shanahan becomes a member of his rat father.
What did they run first down?
They ran a run play.
Okay, that's good.
Yep.
Then second down was the sack.
Third was the
holding.
And
then they ran a...
I can't remember what they ran there, but at that point, the damage is done.
Yeah, there was... Well, they...
Why do you pass the ball? As soon as he dropped back, I'm just going, Why the fuck are you passing? Why the fuck are you passing? And Shanahan's explanation, like... I loathe the elder Shanahan. He's actually related to rats. Look at his face.
What they could have done was force New England to use another timeout, because after the sack they called a timeout.
Yeah,
and then they
if you run the ball, they call a timeout.
But then if you run
the ball again, they call a timeout.
I know, but when on the pass, here's the other stupid thing: on the pass they ran an out, I believe, and the guy went out of bounds on third down. Did he not?
Yeah, but he was within field goal range. And I don't think he had any choice but to get out of bounds where the ball was.
I know, but it stops the clock. Why don't you run something closer to the middle of the field?
The penalty makes it irrelevant because there's no point. And Shanahan's explanation...
No, but they would have had to use a timeout. Still there. They completed the pass. But then he ran out of bounds, and the Patriots didn't have to use a timeout. Again,
without the holding call, Bryant's probably going to hit that field goal anyway. Yeah. So after your disastrous pass call that led to the sack, it's still a 49-yard field goal. Matt Bryant, 9 for 9, 40-49. In a dome. Clutch fucking kicker. 7 for 8 inside 40. Shanahan's going, we were right on the edge there. So, we wanted more. No, there is nothing higher than one miss out of 20 attempts to win the fucking Super Bowl. To call a pass play there is probably the single dumbest play call in the history of professional
football. Did they
football.
complete the pass or no?
No.
Because I thought they...
No, on 3rd and 33? No, they did not.
Okay. Oh, right. He dropped that. That's yes. I was thinking he caught it and went out of bounds, but he didn't hang on to it.
Again, the damage is done. I'm more interested in...
No, I agree. I was confused. I thought he caught it, but no, he couldn't have, or they would have tried a field goal.
Yeah, no, he caught the 3rd down pass.
No. Why didn't they kick the field goal?
Because it was holding. It moved it back. Then, on the subsequent 3rd down pass...
Oh, right. Then it was incomplete. Yes.
Shanahan's excuse is still... I would have too. Even after... Well, no, I wouldn't have run it after the holding call, but I would have run it on the previous play. Because a 49-yard field goal...
No,
after
Marlon,
the sack, run of the game.
On 3rd down. No, on the 3rd down after the holding... I would have run it again just to force him to use a timeout because you know you're punting.
Or run a high percentage play designed to get 7 yards. You've got one of the best kickers in the fucking league and you're in a dome.
I would have run it. Just even, you might get 7, you might not, you might get 3. But worst case scenario, I want New England calling a timeout.
In a pressure situation, Kyle Shanahan proved that he is exactly what we thought he was.
See, I don't put it on Shanahan.
Oh, it is. Who called those plays? Who called on 2nd and 10 or 9?
Who's in it? Who's hearing every play call in the headset that can override it?
No, most of them aren't.
They're
not involved. The head coaches aren't involved.
At that point, you are.
Belichick.
At that point, I would be. If that loss is hanging around my neck, I'm having say in the play calling in the 4th quarter.
Okay, we don't know that. We don't know that.
But I put it on Quinn. If he's not, he's stupid.
I put it on Shanahan. I put it on the little rat.
Not at 3rd and 1 at the 50 or the 40 when the strip sack. If the coach isn't in the headset finding out what the play is, and if the offensive coordinator isn't managing the game properly, that's the coach's responsibility to say.
I don't think the structure works that way, Boyd.
Well,
I really don't, because you have to.
Then that's wrong.
No, you have to delegate authority and have faith in the people underneath.
No. Does the offensive coordinator call timeout? No. If I'm responsible for the play clock and how we manage the game, that's my fucking job. I'm the overseer. I don't just go, well, I'll stand on the sidelines with my head. What's he fucking got a headset on for?
Coaches don't call the plays, man. Head
Not
coaches,
the play.
very few.
Not the play. All you do is say, we're running the ball here.
I say it's much more Matt Ryan.
No. What quarterback has responsibility? There's one. Maybe 2, Roethlisberger and Manning.
Every quarterback can audible out of a play.
If Dan Quinn doesn't have it in place or is too fucking scared to piss off a guy that's leaving town the day after the Super Bowl and override those play calls, especially, even if not at the strip sack moment, with 3 minutes left, if he's not overriding the play calls when they're throwing the fucking ball. Somebody has to take control and say, we need to run out this fucking clock. You're not throwing the ball with 3 minutes left with an 8-point fucking lead. That's on the coach.
Not the guy who called the play.
No. If you got a fucking guy calling pass plays and I'd be pulling my fucking hair out. Pulling my hair out if my offensive coordinator is... The coaches are listening to the play calls going in. What else is he listening to? He knows what play is coming, whether it's a pass or a run. He knows it.
1, a defensive coordinator. 2,
I don't care.
Shanahan has run you to one of the best offenses. You don't fuck with that guy and override him at a crucial point.
Marlon, I'm giving that to him. At the 9-minute mark with the strip sack. Okay. I'm letting him do his thing up until that fucking point. When it gets to 28-20 and he's still calling pass plays at the 23, I'm on the fucking headset. Run this fucking thing 2 times. We kick a fucking field goal and we're taking the Lombardi Trophy back to Atlanta.
You're correct, but I don't think the structure works that way. And the structure is not allowed.
It's not structure.
It is. You have to have lines, dude.
There is lines, but fuck, he's leaving on Monday. What fucking line are you crossing? Run the fucking ball. There's no excuse. None. Marlon, I understand.
I agree that there's no excuse, but there's no excuse for Shanahan. If he's this genius and is going to structure a team for 7 years with a broadcaster...
Who answers the questions after the loss? Who takes responsibility for that loss?
Shanahan, really.
Quinn. When it's said and done, Quinn is a Super Bowl losing coach, not Kyle Shanahan. So if my name's hanging on the fucking trophy or not, I'm overriding that shit. What are the coaches listening to then? When the offense is on the field with their headset on, are they just listening to fucking Gaga's halftime show on a loop? You can't tell me that the head coach doesn't have the authority to override the offensive coordinator. Then you might as well fucking resign.
No, it shouldn't be a structure because that's too much for him to do.
With what? What is he doing?
Okay, I go back repeatedly to Madden, who was never involved in any of the play calling.
That's
and
fine.
Would
then
not
take
have
the fucking headset off.
You got to wear the headset. Bose pays a lot of money to the league.
Why are they? No, but what's he doing when the offense is on the field if he has no input?
Wearing a headset.
If he's so busy. No, but you're saying he was busy. He's too busy to worry about that stuff. What's he doing?
Where do you step in and become an autocrat, Boyd? I think you're completely wrong. I don't think you actually get how this is structured.
If you see a guy fucking up on a job and you're the boss, I've delegated this responsibility to him.
One, he's a defensive background, and a very good one. And by the way, that defense in the first half, in fact, until they became completely exhausted because they were on the field for 6 goddamn days.
Don't change the point.
No, the point is when you have no background in offense, what you do is you hire an offensive coordinator, and his word is your word. He is God.
Bad point. I'm not advocating for him to sit in on the fucking meetings and draw up plays.
So then why should he be calling plays at the most crucial moment? Or stepping in? That's just fucking Thunderfoot.
No. Okay, Thunderfoot with a Super Bowl trophy? Or a fucking pitter-patter, don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, and I'll go home with the loss. Which would you choose? I don't believe your structure argument. I agree with it throughout 3.5 quarters of the fucking game. Let him do his match.
Until he fucks up.
Yes!
And
at 3 minutes
then you
left.
Step in.
At 3 minutes left.
That's good
with
leadership
the game on
strategy.
the line.
Works great.
Is Shanahan there today?
No, but it's Shanahan who's going to own this loss for the rest. Dan Quinn will skate.
No, it's on Quinn. He's the ultimate authority on that fucking team.
And have you seen anything ripping
so the head
him
coach
for
doesn't
calling
talk
the pass?
Ever. The head coach, well, he's not going to throw Shanahan under the... He looks just as bad. Is there... So when you have a football team, going back to structure, the head coach never talks to the offensive coordinator. He has no input. He just lets him run his ship.
Depends what the head coach's skills are. I think Dan Quinn is probably very actively involved in defensive strategy because that's what his background is.
If he knows defense and you're going up against a team and you go, here's their strengths, here's what we need to exploit. He wouldn't pass that on to the offensive coordinator?
That's game planning. That's entirely different than minute by minute. You have to trust your underlings.
Clock management is on the head coach. So if your offensive coordinator is fucking throwing the ball with 3 minutes left, I come in and override the cocksucker and say, run the fucking ball.
That's valid.
That's it. That's all I'm saying. That's it.
That's valid, but the notion that he would jump on the headset and do it on a play-by-play basis?
He might as well be listening to a podcast while he's watching the fucking game.
I think half of them are. Our podcast.
If he's not engaged enough to go, this is fucking wrong, where have we got in the NFL where we get away from what they talk about 2-minute offenses and 4-minute offenses? 4-minute offenses are meant to bleed out the clock when you have the fucking lead. You know how many times I've seen it where teams throw the ball and leave enough time on the clock to win a game even when you think they're out of it? Plenty. Just with my Houston/Titans. I've seen it so many fucking times. If your head coach doesn't have the balls to override the offensive coordinator at that stage of the game, then fire the fucking head coach because it's hanging around his fucking neck. There's no way you should be throwing the ball there on fucking second down.
All on Shanahan and maybe organizational structure. Like, I'll agree with you. At a certain point, you have to tell your little wunderkind rat boy that he's insane.
Well, he's hearing the call go through his headset, the coach. So he will know it's a pass. I'm sure they know enough about play calling and offense to get to a head coaching position that they understand the verbiage of the fucking offensive playbook. So he knows what's coming in. The offensive coordinator relays it down to the quarterback.
Well,
in the huddle.
Okay, the best part of your point. Can I talk here? Okay, the best part of your point is after the strip sack, that's when you should have said, all we are going to do is run the fucking ball if we get a chance.
Well, yes,
that's
but when
what
you
he should have said. That's the point of the decision. Not the point at 2nd and 10 on the 23 when all you have to do is run the ball twice, send out one of the best kickers in the league to kick 3 and finish this game.
I totally agree with you there.
The decision is earlier.
Yes, but when you see he's not doing it at that point, because all you need to do there at the 20th, you could kneel and force New England to take 3 timeouts. You could kneel a yard back.
Oh, and by the way,
kick it from the 40, kick a 43-yard field goal. You could kneel there. Just all you want New England to do is call timeouts. Call timeouts.
I'm not certain why in this discussion you're letting Shanahan off the hook.
I'm not. But I'm saying the ultimate responsibility falls on Quinn. Okay. He's the head coach. He hired Shanahan. Who's higher in the structure? He is. But in the hierarchy of that fucking team, he has ultimate power.
And the 2 years of Shanahan have proven, and unfortunately, what you would do, because you cannot keep track of everything, and you're going to focus more on the defense because that's where your skill set lies.
Yes.
What you have to do is trust this guy. It was misplaced trust.
No, it's stupidity.
Often the same thing.
What is the whole? You're up 11. If you kick a field goal on first down, well, you're almost in better shape. I'm not saying you would.
Yeah, but all you would do is run into the line twice,
3 times,
or again
3 times. First down, run.
Freeman's shifty.
After Jones's catch, 3 runs. Force them to call their timeouts. New England's thinking the same thing. We're fucked.
Yeah. And this is what blows my mind about New England's run. Hey, you can't take away from it. It's the greatest run in professional football over an extended period ever. There's nothing like it. But how many times has that been augmented by disastrous work on the opposition.
All right, we had some Skype issues there for about 30 seconds.
Yeah, I made a brilliant point that you'll never hear.
Well, I made one too, but I'm going to repeat it so you can repeat yours after. All I was going to say was that you were talking about the remarkable run, which it was, but my point being that I never heard anywhere but our podcast that all their Super Bowls were won by 3 or 4 points. As great as their teams have been, they've never dominated anybody in a Super Bowl. Their 6-point win in this game was the largest of all 5. They've won 5 Super Bowls with a combined points for, 19 above points against.
I did hear that brought up a few times, so it
I
wasn't
didn't
just
hear
us,
it.
But
And that's why we got the try there.
It is stunningly inept. Like, I don't know what it is. The curse. I mean, McGarry had an interesting piece today that the mystique of the Patriots wins. He compared it to Tiger Woods. Even when he wasn't at his best, people were so shit scared of him that they would fuck up.
See, that's a better point.
And give him the path to victory.
That's a better point for our discussion about Quinn. That makes more sense to me than him not overriding Shanahan. He's thinking, okay, the Patriots' mystique, they're going to come back and score. So we need points. But what I don't understand...
What he doesn't realize is that 3 is as good as 7?
Yeah, well, what else could it be? It's the same thing with Pete Carroll. Marlon, that makes more sense to me than your structure argument. That they just got in their head about the Patriots. And they weren't thinking about themselves or the clock. They were thinking about the Patriots, which Lombardi is 100% right on. They were still playing the Patriots and not the clock. And if everybody thinks Belichick is Obi-Wan Kenobi and Brady's Luke Skywalker, I guess your thinking's going to change. But I still don't understand why you wouldn't just run the ball and give yourself an 11-point lead. Then it becomes an onside kick game.
Timeouts.
Yeah.
No, that's inexplicable, and that's why I say it's on Shanahan, because you have to realize that you're on the 23.
No, I'm blaming Shanahan too.
No, he is the biggest guy to game, because if he's this genius offensive coordinator, but is unaware of where he is in the game and on the field, he's a fucking idiot.
No, but that's why I'm saying it's Quinn's the ultimate responsibility. Because if you realize that your offensive coordinator is fucking up, then you need to say something. I'm not saying in the first quarter you call up and say, run this play. I'm saying in crucial spots in games, that's when you make your money.
Yeah, second-year head coach. I'm willing to give Quinn a bit of a chance because he's built this defense. And by the way, I think they're going to be good.
No, they are. But it's the fact that after you see one pass play, even after the sack, I'm on the headset saying, run the ball on third down. Just run the ball.
Yeah. Our kicker can make this kick. Just don't fuck this up any worse.
If we get 3 yards...
Simple statement. Do not fuck this up any worse. You've had your one fuck up. Do not fuck this up again.
Because Buck and Aikman were fucking incredulous that he was... you can't give up a sack there. That's the only thing that could kill you, is a sack.
Yeah. Or even calling a pass play. It's the same thing, because, yeah, there's a minuscule chance there's a fumble, because that happens rarely. But it's Shanahan's defense that drove me nuts, was that we were right on the verge there. It was by no means a gimme field goal, except that it was a gimme field goal.
Well, your 49 isn't a gimme.
No, it was 40 at that point.
Yeah.
40 is a gimme.
Yeah, at the 23, yeah.
Yeah. 40 is a gimme field goal. There is nothing more sure in football than that kick going through. I know it doesn't always happen. It's not a guarantee, but there is no other result that is more guaranteed than that.
But were they, see, and this is where your Mystique argument even comes up more for me. Because were they so in their own heads, if we miss the field goal and the Patriots get the ball at the 30 or the 35.
It's the 30. It's just like a punt.
No, I know. But are they so in their head that they wanted it as chip shot field goal?
That was a chip shot field goal. 40.
I know, but I'm
Matt
saying
Bryant,
your argument,
40 to
you brought up the
49,
argument.
never
Mystique.
missed.
No, but you brought up the argument of the Mystique.
Well,
so did it get into their head that if we miss a 40-yard field goal, the Patriots' Mystique gets in your head and you're thinking, we want to make this a chip shot?
Well, I'm going to gloss you a bit here. Do you know what I think it was? And this goes to a 4-year theory of yours. He wanted Matt Ryan as MVP.
Yeah, but he already had it.
It was ass-kissing the quarterback.
But he already had it. He was getting it if they won the game.
Yeah, but
one of the best completion percentages in Super Bowl history.
All I can say is, here's the problem with Shanahan and his dad. They're idiots.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with that, but I still think Quinn is the ultimate voice on that team.
Okay.
So after he called the first pass play...
We spent 25 minutes on Quinn is an idiot.
No, they're both idiots. But
we got to move on. Let's summarize our bets here and get out. You think?
Yeah, I'm good.
I don't have much to add on that, but I mean, Shanahan saying, "Oh, we were right on the edge there. That we wanted more." No, 3 points. 3 points is worth $3 million in that situation.
Yes, and Vegas was screaming. Every bookmaker in Vegas was screaming, "Run the ball!" And I'm not taking any of the heat off Shanahan. I'm just saying Quinn was the ultimate voice.
Yeah,
and should have
San
overridden
Francisco. You've got a broadcaster and Shanahan.
They were better off with Chip Kelly.
Carlos Hyde has got to be saying, please God, trade me."
I'd hold out.
Yeah, just I'm not playing for this team anymore.
Just ask for a ridiculous contract amount.
Oh, is he a free agent?
No, but just hold out and ask for a restructured contract. That's all.
Okay.
Just force their hand into a trade. Because there's nothing there. So he'd be more valuable to trade for a second-round pick.
Wasn't it little Shanahan who also was calling bootleg rollouts for RG3 when he was hurt? Just saying.
No, he's an idiot for the play calling, and Quinn fucked up too by not overriding it. That's the easiest way for me to say it, because they're both responsible for that fucking debacle.
And it was. We were just quibbling I think over. It was as much a loss. It was a good quarter and a half, fascinating to watch, but the first 2.5 quarters of that game we'll never remember. No. The only reason everybody falls into that trap of, it was exciting at the end, so it's the best ever. Yeah, and it's not. No, the Arizona-Pittsburgh game was way better than that. Had back and forth flow. Both teams made plays late. The Fitzgerald touchdown with 2.5 minutes left, then the home sketch after that. The Harrison touchdown return at the goal line at the end of the first half. Like, the greatest play I've ever seen in Super Bowl history, too. Well, as a team. Because it's either 100% or nothing. But the whole team, the way they blocked downfield like that, they all ran with them. Like the greatest play in Super Bowl history. Yeah. You get no argument from me on that, because I think that Super Bowl in my lifetime that I remember, because I said to you on the phone after the game about,
we were talking about greatest ever and stuff, and I said,
brought
I'm
up
sure
Super Bowl 25, which I loved. And I also forgot the San Fran-Cincy game. That was a fucking great game, too. Crummery gets his fucking leg snapped, and he turns into Flipper, and then watches the game from a stretcher on the sidelines.
Well, and I brought up the Pittsburgh Dallas. I can't remember which Super Bowl it was, 35-31. But I said to you at the time, I don't remember enough of how the ebb and flow of that game went. But you had Hall of Famers all over the field on that game.
Yeah, it might have been better,
But I'm just saying that for me, like when you're old enough to know shit, that Arizona-Pittsburgh game's number one in my book.
And
remember
I've
when the
thought
Titans
about that
lost?
a lot since you mentioned it, by the way, and I think you're pretty indisputably correct. That was fucking incredible.
Just for the big plays, there was good defense. There was
punch, counter punch.
Oh, and the Hall of Famer I was talking to you about on Sunday that was kind of, why did he get in? Kurt Warner.
I've always supported that. We've had arguments about that before. I think he deserves to be in. Talk about a guy who did much with little. Not in the Rams era.
Yeah, but how do you discount 5 years of shit?
It's tough to be a road warrior. Most of the quarterbacks who were in played for one team. That team structured around him. He became a road warrior and was productive more so than the team anywhere he went. All right, but that's irrelevant. Let's just summarize. So, in our $30 main bet, we had New England -3. $20 paid $38.18. We won that. I don't know how. Really don't know how.
I don't either. As we said before, I texted you, we're done.
There was no way that we had a chance of winning that. So, thank you, I guess, New England. If Atlanta kicks that field goal, we still had a very real chance at the try-bet. $10 would have paid $32.
Yeah. So we would have lost $6 on that, 6 and change, if that's how the game would have ended.
Yeah. Yeah, the difference between our final winning and the other winning.
Our hope was our best hope in that situation. I was hoping New England kicked a field goal, to be honest, and just give us our money back and get the try bet.
That would have been nice because then we would have had, and we'll get to this in a second. Because then even if Atlanta comes back for a touchdown, then we still get try bet. Yeah.
And we would have ended up profiting more because we would have made 32 on 10 and got the 20 back from our original bet. So we would have in sense got 52 back on 10.
Yeah.
Instead of 18 back on 30. Or $8 back on 30.
Yeah, but we combined
the bigger when it was 28-3, I was throwing $30 out the window. So I'm not complaining.
No, I still don't know how we managed to have another winning Super Bowl.
Well, we'd have been okay, even on the prop bets almost. We'd only been down like...
Well, let's move to the prop bets here then. Okay, our first bet, total rushing attempts under 54.5. It was 41. Thank you again, stupid Kyle Shanahan. That was a winner. $5 paid $9.54. We had Devontae Freeman over 57.5 yards at plus 110. His first carry was 37.
Yeah, I was feeling pretty good after that.
Yeah.
Little did I know he'd only touch it 10 more times, so
again,
that almost feels lucky now.
It does. I mean, the fact that he he had that burst play that we talked about is what saved us there. But, why does he not get more carries? $5 at plus 110, played 10.50. We had a field goal bet, and I've got to rework the math. I fucked this up. I was saying this to you on Sunday. There's a better way to structure this. My concept was good, but our results were not. We ended up with 2 total field goals. We lost 25 cents on a $5 bet. There's a better way I can build this, and I did it on my own prop bets with total touchdowns.
And how did you do that? Oh, with total touchdowns.
Yeah. Same sort of mathematical concept. And I'll touch on that at the end here if we want to, but, maybe we don't. Next up, we had a lead change in the second half. Yes, plus 120, which didn't look good at 21-3.
No, we're at 28-3.
Yeah. No kidding. But I guess Bet365 counted us a tie as a lead change.
No, the overtime.
Okay.
That's my thinking. Is that because it's still part of the second half. The overtime is still a continuation of the second half.
Yeah, I guess maybe I bet my other thing 3-way that I didn't win on, but
because that's the only way. Because the lead didn't change, and if they ended it at the second half, the lead didn't change.
All right.
You don't count a tie as a lead change, right? A tie is a tie.
I guess, yeah.
So my thinking is they're just counting the second half and overtime as because they have a simple. Well, you could have bet if there was going to be overtime. Apparently, Vegas got killed on that one.
It was only plus 900. I considered it on Sunday. But seeing as there had been no overtime matches, plus 900 didn't seem good to me.
No, but if you're just throwing, people just throw shit at it. And that's Vegas counting on all that money staying in their pocket because there's never been one.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're talking probably over all the people that throw $50, and you'd get some guys would do stupid bets. The guys that have money just look for value.
9-1 value when it's an 0-50 prop doesn't look like value to me.
Well, how many safeties did you know were the first score in Super Bowls?
Yeah,
I know. They get killed on it.
Yeah,
they get killed on it because they give high odds.
Because they've got the other side. Here's the one that kills me. We bet under 11.5 penalties. And I was ticking off as every penalty was accepted.
Yeah.
The final penalty, the pass interference on the 2 that led to New England's winning score, put us to 12 penalties. The one I cannot fucking understand is why Bill Belichick, at the end of the third quarter, Atlanta took a delay of game penalty to move their punter back. Belichick accepted that penalty just to fuck us in the ass.
Well, and here's one thing I'll say, where we were even lucky to be close to that penalty number. There, Charlie Ebersol, Dick's kid, was on the radio this week. He was at the game. He said the reason Edelman had hardly any catches, he said that he was getting held, and the Patriots receivers were getting held every play in the first half.
I said that watching the game live. I said that to Shelley. I'm going, let's not forget Dan Quinn was DC for Seattle, which had the philosophy that we will hold on every play because they will not call on every play. That drive that ended in the pick 6, all of New England's first downs, or at least 3 of them, on that drive were on holding penalties.
And all on third down.
And when, by the way, where did they learn that from? Bill Belichick and the Patriots versus the Rams. That's where that came from, so don't say it. But it drove me nuts when he accepted that penalty, because I just said, delay of game declined. And then accepted? What the fuck? Why are you killing me here on penalties?
And we were right at the halfway mark at the end of the first half. There were 6 penalties called in the first half. And without overtime we're good, but we made a lot more money with overtime. Yes.
We had MVP Brady. We got $1.80 on $3, so whatever. It looked like Freeman could, but they stopped giving him the ball because why do that?
Yeah.
And then we had first Atlanta reception, Tololo and Hooper. Our concept was correct, but they threw it to the fullback.
Who was probably higher odds. Who was DeMarco? Probably higher odds than those two.
Yeah. Wasn't terrible. You were correct. I did not post my props on Twitter.
Shocking.
Well, I was still betting them up to game time.
And we should mention our in-play bet.
Okay, well, hang on. I'll just say I did bet $67 on prop bets, made a profit of $32. You know, we need a subscription service or something before people can see my prop bets, because shockingly, I always win money.
I'm trying to add up what we won on prop bets.
16. You told me before the pod. 16.23.
No. Because we won 18 on the regular bet. We profited $8 on the regular bets. So I'm just trying to figure. We won 11, 1284,
1805, or not 805 on props.
Yeah. Okay. So we'd have been down $22 if the Patriots don't come back and win the game.
Yeah.
Or if the try bet doesn't hit, we would have still been up like 10. Like if the Patriots came back and didn't get the 2-pointer at the end, we were still going to cash.
Yeah.
So once they scored the touchdown, I breathed a sigh of relief. And we would have made that money up on the... If the Patriots didn't score that 2-pointer, we would have made the money up on the penalty.
Yeah.
On what we ended up cashing. So 32 becomes... Instead of 38, we get 32, and then the...
we would have had 5.
Oh, yeah, but we would have lost the lead change, though.
We would have lost about...
we would have lost the lead change, so that... Yeah. No, that math doesn't work either, so... But we did well. For where we started, when I thought we were throwing about $45 out the window to be up $16.83 between our regular game bet and our props, I'll take it.
Indeed.
So list off some of the props you bet on.
Okay.
Because our last podcast for 2 weeks. If they don't want to listen the extra 10 minutes, fuck them.
I bet 6 guys for TD anytime. I had Tevin Coleman, didn't pay much, but cashed. I had Devontae Freeman, paid even less, but cashed. I had James White, who paid very, very well. Didn't know Dion Lewis, I also had him, but he pulled a hammy. But here's what I was talking about on the field goals. I decided at least one team was going to score 4 TDs. Which seems reasonable, right?
Yeah. With the offenses?
Yeah. So I bet both sides, New England, over 3 TDs, over 4 TDs, and exactly 4 TDs. If one side gets to 4 TDs, I've covered my bets for both sides. If both of them get to 4 TDs, I make a nice little profit.
Yeah.
The overtime touchdown by New England,
Which you had 4.
yeah, both sides hit exactly 4. It was a nice bet.
And how much did you bet on it, and what did it pay?
I just bet $2 on each bet, so that was a total of $12, and it paid me about 24.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah. And all you need is one side to get there to cover your other edge. I mean, your profit is there. My philosophy was someone's going to get to 4 TDs. I bet first TD running back, which was nice. I teased Atlanta to +9 and under 63.5. That was a solid bet, though I did the math wrong when we were texting each other. I thought that a touchdown in overtime was going to screw me because 28, 28, and 6 equals 64 in my addled brain.
Yeah, they didn't have to go for 2.
That was the most embarrassing.
No, you know what? Next year, instead of the try bet, what was the one you were just talking about? Oh, the teasing that.
Yeah.
To do the tease, I would look at something like that instead of a try bet. Pick our winner and then do a tease like that on one side or the other.
Well, anytime you bet totals, it goes to shit, Boyd. Let's face it. As soon as you touch a total, it's doomed.
No, I know, but our odds are better there of hitting something like that than the try bet falling inside 5 points.
Fair enough. But we're getting 2 to 1 at the try bet. And
yeah,
I'm laying 15 points of VIG to play the tease.
Yeah, but I'd rather cash.
Fair enough. Also,
because that's a bigger long shot to be within 5. The only reason I did it on this one was because the Patriots had never won a Super Bowl by more than 4 points.
Yeah.
That was my logic of bringing that one up.
It was solid, and it was a great hedge, though, near the end, though.
Yeah.
It really, really saved my heart a lot of effort. I liked your try bet. And the other one I did was I laid New England -4.5 at the half. Just for second half points.
Yeah.
That one was just solid.
Oh, and we had in-play bets from Bet365. Any $20 bet made before, any single $20 bet made before kickoff allowed you to bet on something in play during the game. And in the first quarter, we put on, after Freeman scored his first touchdown, it looked to me, because we talked about it in the podcast last week, that Atlanta may change it up and run the ball to control the game, which they didn't end up doing. But after that, their first touchdown or drive, it looked like that was their mentality. We're going to use our running game to eat the clock and win this game. When everything after that went against it, we picked Freeman to score 2 touchdowns. And I think 20 paid 40. And when Coleman caught that touchdown, I'm like, that's Freeman's touchdown. That's what pissed me off. And then they never got close after that. So
and
that bet obviously didn't pay, but we got our $20 back. It was a bonus 20. If it lost, they gave you your money back.
And my bonus bet was first score field goal. Based on, we were 10 minutes into the game, no one had scored, defenses were looking relatively tight. I said first score field goal, I think it was plus 130. That also didn't cash. These free bets that we've gotten, they're very nice. I don't know that we've ever cashed one.
No, we haven't. But
so,
yeah, it was fun.
did you do some props?
None.
None. Okay.
No. I did the under for my buddy. He wanted me to put $20 on Rob, a good friend and coworker at certain times. He's nice enough to come and work for me to give me some time off in the spring and fall. He wanted the under 58.5, $20. And unless there was a safety in overtime, it was going over. A field goal put it at 59.
Oh, that explains why you just sent. The over is virtually guaranteed.
Yeah. It was for him. It was like, I felt bad for him because when it was 21-3 at the half, I'm like, well, that's looking pretty good. And in the fourth quarter, with 2 minutes left in the third, it was 28-9. So,
well, my boss had me put $20 down on Atlanta on the money line. So 20 pays 26. And he texted me, maybe infamously, I don't want to jinx it, but I'm feeling that my $20 is pretty safe right now.
So, thank you, Marlon's boss.
You don't believe in that.
I don't. It's silly.
And I could have cashed it out at $39, and I never did. But he wouldn't have, because that was the price at 28.3. Right? He wouldn't have cashed it out. I didn't text him to ask him about the cash out.
Well, and I never looked. I didn't even think to look at the cash out bets at the half or anything. Or I might have cashed it out for Rob. But
all right.
That's
our recap. I don't know that we added much to the
Yes, our discussion of Shanahan-Quinn was brilliant. I loved it. Because we had, and we don't get mad. It may sound like we're mad at each other.
Oh,
we're not. It's just, I enjoy when we get into discussions like that.
You and I have been mad at each other maybe once each.
Yeah, there was one podcast, if you go back a couple of years.
Yeah, there's one point where you're mad at me. There's one point where I'm mad at you.
Yeah.
But
so
it's fucking sports, guys. It's
just sports.
It's not worth getting pissed off about.
No. But
it's worth getting pissed off about. It's not worth getting mad about.
No. And you turned me a little on the mystique of the Patriots. So that changed my opinion a little bit. So that was good. Because I'd forgot about that, because that's what happened with the Seahawks. We talked about that in that podcast. When they overthought it.
I haven't even talked about the worst game and day of my sporting life when Brady led the Patriots back 16 points down to beat the Chargers that should have won the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Oh, and congratulations, buddy, to LT getting in the Hall of Fame. I know it was a foregone conclusion, but it's always nice when one of the guys off your team.
It was. I'm looking to my left, and I've got my Todd McFarlane LT figure that Kelly bought for me. He's being chased by King Kong. I don't have many toys, but I've got a couple.
Isn't that racist?
No, they're both black. But I've got them on the shelf beside me as we do this.
Oh, shit. Okay, so for our next podcast, it's going to be in 2 weeks. We're taking a break. If anybody that's followed us in the past, we go every 2 weeks in the off season because there's not enough stuff to talk about. And we're going to do a little bit different format in the off season this year. We're going to discuss any football news that needs to be discussed. But other than that, we're just going to talk about anything in the news we want to talk about. Could be pop culture,
not the news. We're going to talk about what we're watching, what we're reading.
Yeah, what we're listening to music-wise. Yeah. But news stuff will come up. Because we've had some great talks before and after podcasts that we said, that should be a podcast. So we're going to give that a try in the off-season. Because the football news, let's be real, until training camp, it pretty much sucks. So it's all just arrests and...
Yeah, we're going to freeform is basically what you're saying. Whatever we want to talk about. Because, you know, you and I live in the same city, but we get together twice a year.
Yeah.
So the podcasts were part of our conversation as friends.
Yes.
And that's what we're going to try to bring across in the off-season podcast.
Yeah, and bear with us for the first couple. It'll probably take us a couple to find our stride, but it did that with the football podcast.
Certainly.
So bear with us. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. And look for that 2 weeks from Wednesday. It'll be up. All right, buddy. It's been a good year again.
Yeah, we made a profit once again. And if anyone who gambles football says that it's easy to make money, they are lying. And
I'll say this. At the point when we had $140 in our bankroll, and I said to you before or after a podcast, a goal is to be above $200 after the Super Bowl, we're plus $78 since then. I believe that was the beginning of the playoffs, I think.
Yeah.
I said my goal is to be above 200.
Establish goals, kids. Talk to your eyes. Go guidance counselor.
All right. Enough sucking our own dicks. If you want to check out the podcast, you can listen to it on iTunes or Stitcher for your Android device. Please rate us. Leave a review, 5-star. Hopefully get us noticed by more people. We're trying to grow our base. Trump quote there. Just to help us out. You can listen to it on offensivelines.ca. Look for any blog posts there. Follow us on Twitter at Offensive Lines for any updates to our blog posts or when a new podcast is available. Facebook.com/Offensive Lines. And if you want to send us an email, it's offensivelines@shaw.ca. I'm Boyd.
I'm Marlon. And a big thank you to everyone who's listened all season.
Fuck Dan Quinn.
Degenerate fucking gambler.